in the semi-finals of the LPL Spring 2021, and as we see picks and bans going underway, the Lilia and Renekton ban coming in from EDG along with the Hecarim and the Alistar ban. EDG here, I'm interested to see what they're looking to ban out. Perhaps they could look to ban out the Orianna. Of course, FPX have had great success with and just as though, okay, see on the side of FPX here, Stake seems kind of happy with that ban. Nice to get some respect bans going on. FPX could look to ban out the Udyr over here because Udyr is one of the strongest champions right now in the jungle at least, and EDG does have that first pick, but instead opting for the Thresh ban instead. Interesting. Now on the side of EDG, fully would expect to see a first pick Udyr coming in here for them. Chances are, you what else is there that's kind of high priority? You could go for an AD carry, go for the Tristana or the Kai'Sa if you're really feeling like it. Viper, of course, an incredibly efficient Kai'Sa as well. Opting for the Udyr, not too unexpected coming in here. On the side of FPX, they've banned out the Hecarim already. Perhaps they could look to both the Horsies have been banned out. It'd be interesting to see what they go for here. So Udyr being one of the strongest junglers right now means there's gonna be his clear speed is insane. It's gonna be pretty hard to run around and take camps away from him. Of course, if you guys remember, that's exactly how FPX beat RNG, first seed RNG, going into the last game that we watched. And that was just FPX as a team with pushing lanes, just fully controlling Outway in the jungle. The Echo Hover here, I don't think that's going to be it. The Nocturne could potentially be okay. Never mind. It's actually going for the Volibear. They are a lot of strong dueling in the early game alongside that Rel in the bot lane. Tristana looks to be picked away by EDG. What kind of follow-up do they have? They could go for the Alistar. Alistar does really well into the Rel. Actually, Rakan. Interesting. So now we're seeing some of the FPX-esque picks in EDG. In fact, this was a FPX draft against RNG, I believe, in game 1 and maybe even game. I think it was just game 1. And the Kai'Sa insta-lock pretty much coming in here because they don't want to let EDG ban it out. Which leaves only the solo laners for the remaining 4 picks and 4 bans for the game. FPX, what would they look to ban out here? They could look to ban out the Ngar, could look to ban out the Gragas, or they could look to ban out the counter picks to the Ngar. Actually, opting for the Nocturne ban. EDG here. They could. Well, Orianna's already been banned out. It's kind of impossible to ban out the rest of doing B's champion pool because he could just whip out something unusual. They could, in fact, look to ban the Jace. Jace is a nice flex between mid and top. Actually, opting for the Ngar ban instead. And the final ban coming in here for FPX. Wouldn't be surprised to see a more mid lane targeted ban. I don't think top lane is too much of a worry because Nuguri also has a champion Ocean at his disposal. Could look to ban out the Victor here, the Azir. Okay, the Twisted Fate. I was kind of expecting to see EDG come out with the Twisted Fate ban, considering the fact that they're playing with Doing B, the man who likes to not be in lane. Though that has changed quite significantly across this season, where he's played the Orianna's mid, he's played the Victors, and he's just kind of stayed in the mid lane. EDG here, I suppose, with both the above mentioned Victor and Victor. Oh wait, Oriana's already been banned as the Corki ban comes in. Interesting. Corki, not exactly a champion I'd expect to see on Doing B. This could be a signal for the Azir pick coming in from EDG because Corki is generally seen as the counter to that champion, as the Akali is hovered, as is the Victor. I like this. I like that they're giving their top counter pick over to Nuguri, as the Victor is the champion that is opted for. EDG have a good opportunity to pick something with a lot of push in the early game. They could opt for the Akali, have a nice little dive composition coming in on the side of EDG, and with that kind of just run over FPX come the mid game. Mid priority, of course, is super important coming in because you need to have priority in some of your lanes. Else, you could potentially leave JJ in there is potential for him to just get ran down by the combined might of FPX. As the Kiana ban coming in, as Kiana pick coming in, interesting. Looks like the fans have spoken and believe that FPX, at least in terms of the English cast, in terms of the English fans, that FPX are the ones who are going to win. The Jace pick is coming in for the side of Nuguri. Looks like they want to play more towards the side lanes. Interesting set hover as well. Set could do better in a team fight, but Jace gives you so much nice poke, a bit of utility with the movement speed, as well as the side lane pressure because he most definitely beats out the Gragas. I would say that full tank Gragas would be fine, but chances are nowadays with the Gragas plays, it's mostly AP. So let's see, we got a nice bit of damage mix on the side of EDG, and we got fantastic damage mix on the side of FPX in terms of scaling. I would say FPX have it in the mid lane, EDG have it in the bot lane. Supports kind of trade off. Volibear and Udyr about the same as well, and Set and Gragas both kind of the same as well. So in terms of scaling, both teams are pretty much the same. FPX have got a lot of tools at their disposal to pull the trigger and follow up, while EDG have a nice bit of engage themselves, along with some disengage coming in from their Gragas, nice little bit of flexibility as well. Overall, I must say, I kind of favor, in the LPL, I kind of favor the team composition that can be more proactive early to mid game. So in that sense, I kind of favor EDG because assassins don't need as many items. Assassin items are cheaper. So in the mid lane, immediately Kiana is a huge threat, followed by the fact that Udyr is extremely strong in the early game as well. Mid jungle 2v2 most definitely going in favor of EDG for the early game. In the top side, it's going to be interesting to see how the set fares against the Gragas. And in the bot side, expect to see tons of aggression because the bot lane level 2 aggression into, let's just see how the game goes. FPX, for some reminder for you guys, FPX versus RNG, the focus was solely on putting way back. Now, it does not appear as though FPX will have that kind of ability now. They've got, I feel like they lose in terms of pushing. Yeah, they get pushed in by the top lane and by the bot lane. Maybe not in the mid lane, but I do believe doing B, if he just continues to spam spells at the wave, will experience some trouble as well in the push department. But without further ado, I suppose as we load into the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, let us see what happens, what unfolds before our very eyes in EDG versus FPX. Two potentials to just win it all and represent the LPL for MSI. Did I just notice that all the champions have masks on them now? Because I'm pretty sure Rel had a mask, and I'm pretty sure that Kiana had one too. So I don't know if that's interesting. It's interesting. Okay. Anyways, regardless, let's get into it. So passive start for both teams as wards are being dropped and recalls have been channeled. I do believe that, actually, I take that back. Crisp actually is leaving base with a red trinket. Oh no, he did drop a ward. There we go. Yeah, he did drop a ward. And so let's see, what lane do both of the junglers want to kind of play around? JJ, I have a feeling that top lane has potential to play around top lane. Bot lane is going to be a little bit harder, but there's also potential for that. Will he play more around the mid lane? Chances are we may not even see them play around anything else, as Nuguri just scouting out the blue buff, realizing and sending the information away that EDG is indeed starting in the bot side. JJ is starting out with that leash in the red buff. Actually probably means he's going to be able to clear so much faster than Tien, because alas, Tien does not have the wave clear that Phoenix Udyr has. So Udyr is going to be out on the map first, is going to be able to sprint around and wreak havoc, especially towards this top side. Nuguri could potentially be in some danger at about the 3-minute and 15-second mark, depending again of how fast it goes. So in the bot lane, unsurprisingly, FPX have priority, considering the fact that they were the first ones in lane, did not need to leash. And let's see. JJ, as we can see here, is already so far ahead in terms of the footpathing. He's already almost finished with his Raptors. Meanwhile, Tien is actually only just about starting them right now in the bot side. Level 2 to level 1. FPX managed to push EDG off of the wave. Looks to be pretty standard stuff here. Looking at the runes, nothing particularly out of order. Looking at the items as well, I would say nothing particularly out of order. Doing B does have that push in the initial perhaps 3 levels, but following that, Scout does get some kill pressure once he has unlocked all his basic abilities, and especially when his ultimate is up. Doing B doesn't do so much damage, of course, so early in the game, as JJ's minor lead in the jungle already begins to take effect. Chris is actually chunked out to half HP. I'm not quite sure what happened there. He does have his flash still, so it's not like he jumped in and had to flash out because he missed everything, as he uses his jump in the bush, not wanting to get it denied. I think he just wants to be able to just scoop somebody up. Looks like both junglers are in position to be trading the scuttle crabs, as JJ just about finishes his full clear. Now one entire camp ahead of Tien, who is just finished up his clear right now. About to be spotted out on the ward by Nuguri is JJ, I do believe. Maybe not. I think that he might have pushed him away. But regardless, he's about to be spotted out on the Raptor ward, just poking in to see where he started. Of course, EDG have no clue where Tien started, considering Tien did a leashless start as he recalls on a ward. So far, first 3 minutes into the game, not really any action. So, and both junglers on even footing, everyone in every lane pretty much on even footing, except for LWX. LWX has managed to take that little bit of a leash lead that to push EDG off of the minions and garner himself up a minor one wave lead. Tian looking to just restart his next clear, as is JJ, and in the top side a little bit of trading going back and forth between Nuguri and Flandre. Don't expect too much to go down as well. The wave is pretty big in favor of Flandre, so Nuguri does need to be a little bit cautious about that. Dragon is spawning in about 40 seconds as Doing B, having spent all his mana, is recalling now. Scout opting for the Ignite, which means that, things might be a bit more gentle now than you'd expect, but that is not going to be the case. JJ rounding the corner, he uses his sweeper. Doing B does not have any mana, does not have TP. He actually opting for the exhaust here, which I think is a wise pick, because with the assassin pick, you just need to snowball, and if the assassin gets to the late game, or like if you get to 2 to 3 items as Victor without dying and skipping up in CS, you've basically won lane. Looking at the vision game, in the bot side, I'd say that FPX are doing pretty well, but EDG have a nice spread over on the top side of Tian's jungle, and vision in the early game, when it looks like nothing's happening, ladies and gentlemen, vision is of the utmost importance, because now EDG realize they can play as aggressive as they want to in the bottom side. There is nothing to fear, because the big bad bear was in the top side. Of course, they saw him pathing towards bot side now, so they realize they've got maybe 15 seconds to push this in and quickly skedaddle. So good coverage in the top side of FPX's jungle, coming in from the side of EDG. Meanwhile, it looks like FPX, they do have some decent vision in the literally the bottom side river of the map, as Tian clearing out the the vision ward in the river. Oh, sorry, I paused for a second because I see EDG moving up towards Doing B. Held my breath there, because Doing B looks to be in a very perilous position. JJ does have Scout coming in behind tower. It's a dive coming in. Mako is around the corner as well. Viper's not here. As a stun coming in. Flash follow up by Scout. Nice flash coming in from Doing B. I can't believe he managed to dodge that. But Mako is in the area as well. Mako is making sure that there is nothing that can happen. Or 1v2 situation is what Tian is walking into, as he's blast planted into 3 people now. Tian way too deep. It's just being chain CC'd up. Misses the lightning and managing to flash away. Okay, Tian, that was very, very... Whoa. That was a reach for sure on the side of Tian. I'm kind of surprised to see that he would attempt to do something like that. But so far, nice summoner spell trade coming in there from Doing B and EDG. EDG being the proactive ones in this game, actually for getting the first move out onto the map. Regardless though, everything is pretty much the same. Summoner spells, traded, minions, even. That is, of course, until Scout pushes this next wave into the tower and Doing B starts losing some CS. Do not believe it is a cannon wave, so Doing B will lose a fair chunk here, but it's not something he will ever not recover from. And it looks like EDG have chosen which lane they want to be playing around. They want to unlock Scout, and they want to let him have kill pressure in lane so that later on he'll be able to be a side lane split pushing threat. That also probably means that they want to control as much of the vision around the mid lane to allow for JJ to come in and tower dive Doing B over and over again, or maybe to even allow for Scout to get a roam off and along with JJ pair up and tower dive the bot side. It looks to me with the Gragas pick that EDG are looking to just focus hard on the bot side of the map. Now let's see what FPX can do about it. They need to start wrestling vision away from the mid lane, and as we see, that's exactly what Doing B and Tian are about to start doing, I do believe, because Tian does have his sweep up. Probably will pop it and make a quick sweep of the top side. They already have vision in the bot side. Pixel push with the vision ward as Crisp is taken kind of low, but as is Mako. Viper is being chased out of the fight. Level 5 to level 5 as the rocket jump comes out as well. Otherwise, no ultimate to follow up. And then the top side, Nuguri just trading damage back and forth with Flandre. Rift Herald is spawning, but looks like Tian is opting to start up the dragon right about now. With that, Scout is roaming up towards the top side. Some pings going down mean that he has been seen, and they're just wrestling vision away from one side of the map, and they're going to play around that one side. So that's how we determine where EDG is really looking to be playing around. So with vision towards the top side, looks like Flandre and JJ are going to just get some priority in the top side and just start up Rift Herald. As soon as Dragon falls, we see JJ just running straight for Rift Herald, realizing that he has mid prio, and he also has a decently pushing top lane AP Gragas with the barrel. Of course, very easy to push out the waves. And it looks like Nuguri and Nuguri not really ever wanting to be the one farming under tower. I think he realizes if he tries too much to farm under tower, he could potentially get poked by Flandre, and worse, he could potentially be asking for JJ to come in for a dive, and that's never a position you want to be in. You never want to make yourself look like a juicy little piece of steak because they will take you. And Tien is running down here, does have his ultimate, can potentially be setting up for a tower dive. There's no other member of EDG in the area as Scout and JJ are on the top side of the map. But that being said, there is a teleport available for Flandre, as is there one for Nuguri. Looks like Tien realizing this, not wanting to attempt anything, actually opts to leave. Perhaps in good time because JJ has just finished his recall and was running, sprinting in fact towards the bot side of the map. Quick reset coming in here from side FPX. There are no neutral objectives on the map, which also means that chances are we'll be seeing a very chill game. This is not at all what I expected to see. 9 minutes in, we've got a completely even game in terms of gold across both teams, CS discrepancies here and there, but they've all kind of leveled each other out. And I suppose we're just waiting for that time when both teams feel comfortable enough to have that explosive team fight around the third or maybe even fourth dragon. That could potentially be the second dragon as well, where the fights start out. But I would say that in a fight, the earlier the fight, the better it is for EDG because they do have these stronger early game champions. If you ask me, some of that Gragas burst, it can be very surprising. And the fact that Scout also is building towards his items while Doing B did have to diverge slightly and go for that arm guard. Now Doing B looks like he's going to get ganked here as he does not have flash. JJ flashing in using the smite and the Nimbus cloak. In comes Scout, just chain CCing him down. But oh, in comes Mako. Mako's killing first, but and also CC up. Tien is just stuck in the area, forcing to use ultimate to run away. Crisp is arriving as well as is Nuguri. This is a 3v3, but Tien is incredibly low. In fact, it's a 4v3 situation as Mako jumps over the wall. Nuguri using Mako as a bouncing platform to try and get out of the fight, but Crisp is just being CC'd up as well. It looks like Doing B, as long as he doesn't have flash, he is going to be in a deep trouble. Because, oh, LWX in the boss side, versus Viper, rocket jump, little bit, oh, trying to flash into the push, but it was just a bit short, and Viper being able to land that final auto attack. I think Viper getting every ounce of damage possible. Once his attack speed wore off, he used his jump a second time just for that little bit of damage, and maybe even that slow, which was kind of inconsequential, but LWX actually using heal, despite having heal, actually lost that fight. I cannot believe it. What happened? I mean, Tristana outscales Kai'Sa. I'm not quite sure how that fight went down that way. Was it an item discrepancy? Maybe it was LWX missing his W or something. Let's just see what goes on. Okay, so we see here a Flight Smash Nimbus Smite Flash Nimbus Cloak into a supreme display of talent, just locking him in place, and Scout was zoned by the Chaos Storm and the Gravity Field. Unfortunately for Doing B, Mako was as well in the area and able to capitalize on it, and then Nuguri just gets pounced on here because FPX were trying to get something but realizing that they are actually in a 3v4 situation, and Mako, again, just using his W and getting the kill. LWX, okay, he started out the fight with a little bit less HP, I suppose, but it looks like he also gets everything off except for the W. I can't tell if the W went off or not. I can't tell if the Prey Seeker managed to go off. It definitely didn't miss if it went off. Interesting. Looks like that little bit of damage it looks like that little bit of HP that LWX was missing was enough for Viper to actually come out ahead in that fight. So if it was a full HP versus full HP, there's no doubt in my mind that LWX would have won that. But fantastic heads up play coming in there from Viper, recognizing that he does have some wiggle room to play with considering the HP bars of LWX, and went in respectable. Fantastic job. Dragon is spawning in under a minute. Rift Herald is not on the map just yet. Let's see what both teams decide to do. Teleport advantage in favor of EDG, so Flandre could look to impact the map somewhere else, while Nuguri will be stuck in lane if he does not start rotating in about the next 15 seconds. Alright, Doing B he's got flash now, so he's got that little bit of added safety. JJ also kind of needs flash to gank Doing B, unless Doing B is horribly out of position. Scout so far with the Kiana pick hasn't been super impactful, but a little bit has happened. So it's not a terrible pick, but it's not like a phenomenal pick. Looks like in terms of vision, EDG are very much in a more comfortable position right now. But as 4 members of FPX round the corner, 5 now with Nuguri here as well. Looks like they seem set on stacking these dragons. A very different game plan coming in here from FPX. Versus RNG, they kind of focus more on the Rift Herald, focus more on trying to pressure the map and end it out early. As of right now, this is a very scaling game that we're seeing here. It's not a kind of tempo that we are used to seeing FPX play around and play with. I think they're very comfortable and very happy with the fact that he managed to secure away 2 dragons. However, So I guess they're playing it kind of how you'd expect them to play. I wouldn't say if it's right or wrong. It's just kind of how you expect them to play. Now looks like JJ looking again to come by and swing through the mid lane. Perhaps he wants to try and get some pressure on. Does not have Rift Herald, so I'm not quite sure what he's doing sprinting across the map. As Doing B is just picking up a blue buff for himself to allow himself to scale up a little bit better. Has finished one augment only, I do believe, at this point in time, and still has very little AP with just a Seeker's Arm Guard and a 168 stacked tier. Looks like EDG have arrived and are busting down the doors for FPX's bot lane. Crisp is not in the area, so LWX being alone under this tower means that he could potentially be in tons of in danger as he is spotted. JJ running in, pops the chem tech, in comes Mako, and there's nothing he can do. He's just chain CC'd and bear slapped along with the Phoenix stance to death. Well, the engage range of Rakan is truly menacing indeed. The second Crisp leaves lane, LWX is pretty much just cannon fodder, food for the bears, and it's just pounced on. Good play coming in here from EDG. Nothing that FPX can do across the map, as the Gragas does have the explosive cast, as well as the fact that both the jungler and the support of FPX were not in position to make something happen. I think EDG, realizing that FPX was about to set up for that Rift Herald, actually opting to punish on the opposite side of the map, giving Viper some of that solo XP, letting him tear down that tower and giving their team a bit of a lead here. The first tower goes down in favor of EDG. That was a very nice play now that I think about it. They actually realized that FPX probably going to try and set up for Rift Herald and punish across the map, where they expected Crisp not to be. Fantastic. That was brilliant. That was actually brilliant. And now mid lane is also a little bit I mean, the tower's taken a lot more damage than I expected, but then again, what can you expect, I suppose, when a Rift Herald is being sent down there. EDG in position to start up this Rift Herald, but looks like Viper is walking down back towards the bottom side of the map, perhaps wanting to try and get a solo kill down onto LWX by realizing that he doesn't know where the rest of FPX is, opts to just jump the wall to the safety of his jungle. Crisp, along with Doing B and Tian, are just running down now, looking perhaps to just secure themselves also a bot lane tier 3 tower. And it looks like EDG, despite that fantastic macro play, they have kind of allowed FPX to equalize. That being said, Rift Herald is going down across the map, and Scout is going to pressure top tower. Ping's going down, telling me that Rift Herald is probably going to drop there, and with 2 outer towers down, it's only a matter of time before FPX really loses their mid lane tier 3 tower, considering how much HP it does have, and considering the fact that there's a Tristana on the enemy team. EDG, with just these little victories, have actually managed to get themselves and put themselves in a very comfortable position. Nuguri rounding the corner, seeing that Jia is up here as well, does have the Rift Herald, knows that the second in the spawn, this tower is not going to stand for long as at all. Crisp is up in the area, but as is Mako, and Mako with his grand entrance and all the flair in the world is going to be very much able to fight and provide just as much CC as Crisp is, at least initially. I mean, in the mid lane, scaling is still the name of the game for FPX. Scaling is still pretty much the name of the game for FPX, so this kind of game state, I suppose, doesn't trouble them too much. Nuguri is just, I mean, now most champions, in fact, wow, all 5 champions on the side of EDG have completed their mythic item. Unfortunately, Doing B is lagging behind quite severely, but that's the way of the mid lane victor, unfortunately, especially if you've been forced to go into the Seeker's Arm Guard. It's a pretty hefty investment. It's about 900 gold. That gold takes, not only is it 900 gold investment that you can only that provides returns later on, I suppose, but it allows you to survive in lane, it's true, but it also takes 900 gold away from completing your mythic item, and I have no doubt in my mind that if Doing B had that gold, he would most definitely be able to complete his mythic item right now. Now, as it looks like both teams grouping up now for this dragon in 40 seconds. Flandre does have teleport, as does Nuguri. Summoner spells are available for almost every single champion in the game. We're going to see multiple flashes burn, Rift Herald going down in the mid lane, assured a charge on this tier 2 tower, and if Viper can get some shots in, get some licks in, then this tier 2 tower might very well go down. JJ walks up and slaps Tian actually running for it, and then using his ultimate to get back with Scout coming in with the sprint display of Titan going wide, going through the oh no, nice stun coming in there from JJ, actually stunning out Nuguri before he could get his ultimate off. Nuguri kind of greedy there, going for the stride breaker into the face breaker instead of trying to just ult back one of the players from EDG. That could potentially be a misplay as Tian is being bashed out here. Flandre flashing in with the body slam as Elderback going for the backline. Mako jumping in to try and peel him off as Viper takes out two. Nuguri jump in, does have the face breaker. Oh, the W coming down as a trick fight kills straight back, but Scout is now onto FPX's backline. Scout is invisible but has been stunned up by the gravity field. In comes Viper. Viper doing tons of damage. Mako flashing in with the W, knocking up doing B as Scout jumps in. Viper flashing in as well. Looks to be finishing up the kill. Viper at full HP. Nuguri has one face breaker for him to use, for him and Elderbex to use to perhaps win this back. They could run over Scout. Scout needs to be in danger, needs to be in trouble. Viper jumps in as, oh my god, Mako tanking out the damage, but Nuguri just slapping him down. Nuguri does have the W, does have the shield, but the stealth from Scout could potentially, oh my goodness, that was the closest fight ever. Nuguri doing so well in that fight. He might have screwed up the initial fight a little bit, but I suppose that champion is just too tanky. Look at the regeneration coming in from his passive. Actually, it's disgusting. He's healing about 8 HP a second right now. Is this Dota? What are we as Nuguri is, you know, his recall is stopped, which could be some trouble because EDG might have 5 players on the map before he has the chance to get there. No, he won't, because Viper and Scout still yet to come back into the game. Flandre trying to perhaps get some harass down onto Tian as JJ is hovering on the other side of that bush. And just like that, I suppose let's just see it all over again. Almost every summoner spell in the game was used, in fact, except for one TP and one Ignite, one on the side of EDG and one on the side of FPX. Scout is not in position, so FPX have 5 man here first. They could look to do something. Ultimates are kind of available already. As the explosive cast coming in, splitting up FPX, Tian is being focused down, Dragon is stolen by JJ. Mako is deep, but Crisp is the one who is deeper, is being put down. Scout is actually dead. Supreme Display of Talent, 3 people! Nuguri is stunned up, doing be stunned out as well. There's nothing that can be done. Viper jumping in, wreaking havoc as the ultimate comes in for Nuguri, getting 1 kill onto Mako as Elderbex jumps in as well into a 1v4 situation. He is absolutely insane. I'm not quite sure what he was planning to do, jumping in there. And Scout going huge in that fight, using his invisibility to just zone out the 2 carries of FPX. And then finally, once the invisibility ends, actually throwing them against the wall, CCing up Nuguri as well. Unbelievable display. I think Supreme Display of Talent kind of summarizes exactly what I was trying to say over there. Oh my goodness, EDG, a fantastic play coming in there. Just when the last fight looked to be on a nice edge, and it looked like the knife just tipped slightly, ever so slightly, in favor of FPX, EDG just emerged from the underside of the table, from the other side of the table, one might even say, and just slap FPX back underneath the table. They are now the kings. They have the upper hand. Most definitely. Gold 6k in favor of EDG. And this is the initial fight. Ken kind of gets exploded here. Nice little body slam coming in there. Knocking up Chris, knocking up Ken. Actually, FPX kind of win a 3v5 situation, not to mention, as Nuguri just goes in, kind of exploding out JJ and Flandre. And then Viper just being zoned by Nuguri. And the Scout is also zoning FPX's backline over here. The fruit was really, really good. Nuguri just lifestealing up with, just healing up with his passive. Look at that regeneration he's getting. Disgusting. And Mako, unfortunately, trying to help his carry with the shielding, actually jumps in and tanks a Prey Seeker to the face. Viper just muscled down by Nuguri, and Nuguri with his shielding, with the W, and with the auto resets coming in from his Q, actually goes down apparently. Not quite sure what he was doing there. Yeah, we're gonna have to get a replay on that. Scout jumps in, gets flashed on. Ooh, Supreme Display of Talent coming down. I think Tian might have just saved Elderbex there. Elderbex, whoa! Elderbex taking a tower shot! Actually forcing out his heal. He's out of the fight. Mako is here as well, but it's Elderbex taking up another tower shot. Please stop. Viper's gonna jump in for sure and try and get this. Tian needs to bodyguard him. And nice play coming in there from FPX. 2-for-1 trade across the map, but a lot of pings are going down as we see the bot and top wave are pushing in favor of EDG, and with this Tristana at full HP, with the protection of the Rakan in the area as well, will most definitely allow them to take this tower down. Doing B is here as well, but Baron buff is going to make it a bit harder for him to clear out the waves as the tower inevitably falls to the damage of the Tristana. Rocket jump away, Ken trying to run forward, does have flash, but opts not to use it. Viper does have cleanse but does not have flash. Okay, so key ultimates here. Supreme Display of Talent, the ultimate coming in from Rakan, big. Flandre's ultimate also probably big, as we see on the bottom side here. It looks like Nuguri was just surrounded. I'm not quite sure how they knew he was in that bush. Was there a ward in there? Most likely there was a ward spotting out him being around there. I think that no, it doesn't look like there's one. It's confusing. How did they know? Interesting. Well, regardless, No neutral objectives for the next minute and 50 seconds. Baron is wearing out in about 45 seconds. Looking at the items now, looking at the gold first. EDG very comfortably about 5k ahead, and most of that gold is sitting very comfortably on that Tristana. So EDG, just protect the Tristana and you're set. FPX need to one-shot her, which is going to be a bit of a struggle, not gonna lie, as Nuguri just gets the scuttle cap smited away. JJ, that's about as much of a drive-by as you can. Fast food McDonald chain right there. Yep. Um, Meanwhile, on the side of FPX, most of their gold is also on their carry, who's keeping up in farm, a little bit down in terms of kills, but that's also kind of where you want the gold to be. So all things considered, map state wise, EDG very much have been in favor, have been in the more comfortable position, at least for the majority of this game. Right now, FPX, they're losing ground ever so slightly ever since like the beginning. EDG doing a real good job just converting their initial early advantages, those little ones that they managed to acquire across the map, and kind of just running away with it. Some good team fighting coming in from both sides, however, means that this game is far from over. It could really go either way at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen. Have no fear. Now, EDG are in position as JJ is sprinting in. He's not great as the first engaging point, however. That kind of responsibility lands more on the shoulders of Mako and maybe even Flandre. JJ is just there to follow up and be a huge nuisance to the individual characters of FPX, especially the carries. Having Udyr running at you just wanting to bear slap you as his only purpose in team fight life is pretty annoying as a carry, especially if you're a Samira. But thankfully, LWX is a Kai'Sa at this point in time. Dragon is spawning in 7 seconds. Looks like mid priority, very much in favor of FPX as JJ trying to clear out the waves with his Phoenix stance, able to do that very comfortably as Tian is about to explode a bomb onto. Oh no, man, I was gonna say explode a bomb onto the rest of his team. Looks like FPX have come to terms with the fact that they are going to be giving up Dragon. Entire bottom side river is fantastically watered out by the members of EDG. Full vision in favor of them. Only bit of vision, the only snippet of vision FPX has is in the bot side river, as Scout is just lingering on the side. Tian just trying to ensure that JJ running in with the bear stance with the facilitating the engage. In comes the explosive class, but unfortunately does not really do anything. Scout, it's a pretty display of talent, hitting up 3 people, but Chris jumping in, preempting the jump in. LWX jumping in and assassinating Scout. JJ is at half HP. Doinby is leading the chase. There are no more engages or there's no more disengages or re-engages available for EDG. Kind of throwing everything onto the champions of FPX there, but somehow nothing really going on. Viper stepping up here, Doinby stepping up as well. Doinby needs to be careful because Viper has a ton more damage than he does right now. LWX is not in the fight as the Buster Shot comes out. Doinby chunked out extremely low. Will not try anything funny any longer. Let's get a replay of that. Let's see. I love this trampoline that JJ is. He pops the Chem Tank, runs in with the bear stance, smites nearest target he can, gets the Nimbus Cloak movement speed, and just like that, Mako can use him as like a jumping platform to get onto the members of FPX. That was phenomenally done. I really like Crisp's jump over there. Crisp saw the supreme display of talent, and buffered it with his dismount and targeted it at the 2 characters that were stunned. So if Scout went in there, he would have inadvertently been CC. That was a beautiful play coming in there by Crisp. Will we get a replay? I would like to see a replay. That was actually really good. Now, forget the replay, I suppose, because Baron is spawning in about 15 seconds. Vision is very much in favor of EDG. EDG this game have done a phenomenal job at being the ones dictating the pace of the game, controlling the vision of FPX. FPX have had to fight most fights with a disadvantage in terms of information. And I mean, as Tian is being jumped on here is doing BJJ, realizing that he does not have the spot. It's a flat out 2v2. In a flat out 2v2, EDG it's like an even fight, and you don't really want to take even fights. You want to take fights where you have a lead. JJ at level 15, Tian at level 13. Nuguri also down a level. Meanwhile, everywhere else across the map, everything is even. So EDG do have an experienced lead as well. If the Baron is started up, if a 50-50 smite fight isn't really going to be a 50-50 smite fight here, SBC, will we see the combo yet again? Chem Tank is up. Mako's ultimate is up. In comes JJ from the side. Scout always looking to be lurking on the flanks. Not going to lie, EDG's Baron damage is entirely Viper. That's it. They got a lot of champion damage as a death bush is set up here. Chris could potentially be the one to get one-shotted by this. Don't think they want to engage onto Nuguri. JJ is ready to run in. Does have the Deadman's Plate. Even more movement speed. Even more distance to close. As the explosive cast comes out, trying to knock a member of FPX into the team. As Nuguri jumping in onto Scott. Actually engaging onto the flanks is exactly what you want to do. Tian has rounded the corner as well. In comes... Oh, that was the best! Oh my god. nearly getting bare stanced up. That was really, really dangerous coming in there from LWX. I understand he was trying to one-shot Scout, but that was really towing the line between a really, really good play and a kind of an int play in the jungle. I must say, EDG are a very comfortable position. That means that Scout is not in there. Spear talent cannot really pop off here. Coming out from JJ again, the level advantage means that it's very easy for him to just secure anything away from Tian right underneath his nozzle. Oh, okay. I understand why FPX fought that fight. It's because Scout. They knew that Scout wasn't really gonna be in the area, but if Scout stayed and used the supreme display of talent, things could very well have taken a devastating turn. A catastrophe could have very much unfolded before our very eyes. So the big plays here are going to come from the side of FPX, mainly from LWX and doing B. And the side EDG just need to watch for that fantastic engage. Watch for that fantastic engage and let's see what Scout can do with the backline, whether it's zoning or one-shotting a squishy. All he needs is that one opportunity. As the game goes later and later and later, doing B does have his Zonias, but LWX will never probably have Zonias, a Guardian Angel at most. So we need to see. Scout is always kind of going to be a threat because LWX needs to play so perfectly carefully. But the thing is that if Scout jumps in onto Elderbex might just jump in onto Tristana. That's the beauty of playing this Kaisa. It's like you're an assassin also. So Dragon is spawning in 50 seconds, and with that, a mass recall coming in here from the side of FPX. EDG is the first one out on the map, which means that they will probably be the first to secure vision in the river yet again. A ton of supers actually coming in from the side of EDG. EDG really just hammering down hard on the vision game. Look at the vision score coming in from the various members of EDG. 73 vision score coming in from Viper. What? What kind of AD carry are you? Mako with 84, kind of to be expected. And looks like FPX in position. They say, alright, EDG, you might have control. You are really good at controlling one side of the map. Now choose. If you want Dragon, we'll take Baron. And just like that, they're literally starting it up. But EDG are in the area as well. Watch out for JJ. Watch out for Mako. Watch out for the supreme display of talent. As Scout is going the long way out. Will he be able to get there in time? Looks like he's in position as well. Does have flash. All summoner spells. All the ultimates are up. JJ does have a higher level. In comes JJ. The smite is taken. It's taken. Supreme display of talent. It's over. It's over. FPX are doing so well. Viper is being chunked out by doing B, but where is... Oh no, he's down. Elderbex has been taken down. Tian is being... Viper's just running rampant in the backline as doing B presses the S button. There's nothing more that could be done. It was a disaster. And I think just like that, game 1 is over, ladies and gentlemen. Viper just kiting away from doing B and LWX instantly focused down upon JJ just running in, and with the smite advantage, I suppose, like we said, the 50-50 isn't really a 50-50. JJ got CC'd out by the ultimate from Crisp. I think he got jumped on. He even got flipped, but he somehow makes it into the pit. Scout jumps in as well. In that tight crevice, supreme display of talent was just devastating. LWX got clipped by it, and there's really nothing more to it. What could he have done, if you think about it? LWX was kind of the glue keeping the entire team together, and with Scout just in the area, really always looking to one-shot him. The amount of engaged range that EG had with their composition, able to just close out the game. Very, very strong display coming in here from EDG. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for today. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for FPX vs EDG Game 2 of the semi-finals Spring 2021 playoffs. See ya!